Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all over the world to you brave hearts out there. And understand this, that we're here to try to help you, to support you, to create a foundation out there. A foundation of healing on all levels, emotionally, okay, physically, nutritionally. And understand something, everyone. I'm going to say something, and I just want you to think about this. Okay, sometimes we have to stir it up just a little bit, okay, just a little. And the reality is this, how many people know and realize that how many people realize that I would be out of business if, okay, the so-called psychos that think they're going to run at the planet and tell us what to do would mind their own business. You know, we have given them the idea that they can rule school and fool us. But understand something. We are 8 billion strong. They might be 250, 300,000 strong. But they strategize, and every day they strategize on creating the perfect day for them and feasting and harvesting on our brothers and sisters, whether you want to believe that or not. Some people won't believe it. Some people don't want to believe it. They don't want to face it. The reality is we need to mind our own business, do our own research, become our own practitioners, become the hero, become the healer that we seek, become the joy that we seek, become the love that you seek. That's why we run around on empty. Understand this. Today we're going to be talking with Richard, the creator of our C60 hemp oil and our C60 MCT oil, which is the most powerful C60 in the world. And I can honestly say that we carry the most powerful C60. Do your research and then go to my library at docofdetox.com and then take a look at how we make it. Watch the videos, watch the research, watch what Richard does with his passion and purpose with this product. So today we're going to be talking about detoxifying your body from the V. Okay, from you know what? The spike protein. And understand something. And you need to get this. You know what? Now I've got people on the last show, they're going on, oh my God, can you actually believe it? Dr. Wolf has graphene in his product. Now understand something. Graphene is carbon. And our bodies are made out of carbon. So if you want to get rid of carbon, and that's, you know, the whole carbon tax. Well, they're not after really there's a carbon situation problem out there. We're the carbon problem for them. So that's another story. But the reality is here is that graphene, which is carbon, is not necessarily bad. It's not bad for you. It's what you attach to it. Let me make you an example. So we've got one human being and we've got another human being. We know that the brain is not smart unless it has smart beliefs. We know that the person won't be healthy unless they have healthy beliefs. We know the person won't be financially abundant unless they have abundant beliefs. And you can believe that or not. But, you know, the person that goes around talking about poverty and I can't afford this, I can't afford that, that's usually what happens because you put it out there to the source and the source gives you what you talk about the most. And understand, it's your prominent, dominant beliefs that run your life. So let's make that really clear. And understand this, your personality is not really your personality. It's just the beliefs that you took on, whether consciously or subconsciously, and now you run a program. So are people bad or are their beliefs bad? Are people good or is it their beliefs good? Well, seeing that the brain is just like a computer. You know, you get your computer and you take it home, there's nothing in it. Nothing in it until you put programs in it. Once you put programs in it, the program you run is the program you get. If you have, okay, a dysfunctional program running in your computer, the end result is dysfunction. If you have a dysfunctional program running in your brain, which 99.9% of the population does have a lot of dysfunctional programs running in their brain, because how in the heck could about 250,000 to 300,000 people hogtie 8 billion and make a slave planet? Seriously. So now here's the deal. So now because people, you're very dangerous when you have a little information. So I'm bringing it out right out in the open. We are proud to use graphene in our product because guess what? Our C60 hemp oil and our C60 MCT oil, whether you want to believe this or not, and you can go to the bank on this, why don't you go to PubMed and do some real science, some real research? That's a government website, and they have to publish, whether they like it or not, every scientific study. Now, graphene is only going to run the program that's in it. So we know the program that's being run in the graphene that go into the bee. Yes or no? Come on. If you don't know by now, then guess what? You're never going to know. And then this is probably not the platform for you. The reality is this, is that I can take that same graphene particle, which is carbon, and I can put a program into it that will actually dismantle, okay, and diffuse the program that they're creating in the graphene. And I do it with my MCT oil C60 and the hemp oil. Whether you believe this or not, we are getting people coming to us with 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And the reality is this, we front end load. We go in, we detoxify their colon, their liver, we do it right. And we go in, and guess what? It takes us 6 weeks to 3 months to almost, I won't say everybody, but I would say the majority of the people that come, no matter how many times they did this, we have them symptom free. Now you're going to go, oh my God, look at how he's feeding on the people. I'm not feeding on the people. They're feeding on the people. I'm telling you that if you want to have the life that you were always promised, then what you're going to have to do is learn proper detoxification, which the large intestine is the holy grail of everything, and the liver, which most people will do 3 oil change, and it changes to 4 oil changes, and a filter change on their car every year, my dear. And guess what? You know when people do it here? When they're 50. And understand something. We know how to do it with the ultimate coffee enema, not coffee enema, because you can't do coffee enemas because you're purging all of those GMOs, all those chemicals, okay, all those additives, and everything that's been in your liver forever and a day. You put it into the colon, and seeing that, guess what? 92 to 96% of the population has autoimmune disease, which means leaky gut, and then you're going to just put that all back into your bloodstream. And that's why you got to do an ultimate coffee enema. So bear with me for a second, but I'll tell you something. Nothing brings down the symptoms once we pull the cork out of the butt and we cleanse the colon and we're cleansing the liver. And we can do this all at once. When we start doing the C60, you don't have to do what I do, but I filled that up, okay, at the beginning of the week. I sip on this all day long. It goes into a pouch that I carry with me. And I sip the MCT oil C60 until around 2 o'clock. And then I do the hemp oil, which is, I'll bring it out later. It's a more of a green color, and it has a nutty flavor to it. But the reason why I do that later in the day is because it helps to restore my endocannabinoid system, which is the system that calms you down and puts you into a position of healing. That's right. That's why people are so addicted to CBD everything now, because the endocannabinoids are being blown out by the blue light on your computers, on your phones, LED lighting, the watching TV, all the street lights, even going to the dentist's office. It's all blue light. So here's the deal. A little bit of danger, a little bit of information makes you really dangerous. So I did a show, and I talked about how we actually use, okay, graphene, and that we have the purest, strongest C60 in the world. And I'm going to let Richard talk about it, and I'm going to close my mouth in a second here. But understand something. Do your research. Do you know what people do? They get a little bit of information, and then they go and shoot their mouth off. And I do mean they shoot their mouth off because they're shooting their foot off and their head off. Because that thing, you have to understand, if I've got a negative graphene, and I bring in a high positive graphene that is known to be the strongest antioxidant on the planet, that's 270 times stronger than vitamin C, that is called the miracle molecule, and I bring that in, what do you think that's going to do to the negative graphene? How about neutralization? And then I have other products, and I don't want to get into that because we're talking about the C60 today, like my humic fulvic products, which are the purest in the world. And they're the only products that we process without chemicals. I hope you know that. And then we use a product called curcumin cayenne. Okay? And then we use about 3 other products with, I'm not going to get into this, we got to get Richard on. But understand, if you go to my library, we're just finishing it off now. It's called the 4 pillars of detoxification of the bee. And I'll have enough science in there and enough studies from PubMed to show you that, guess what? They think that they can control us. They think that they can strip us down. They think that they can hurt us, sell us off by the pound. But understand, their source creator Every time they come up with something to bring us down, to entrap us, to enslave us, we come up with something that's going to neutralize their stuff. I mean, welcome to Planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure for those that have their eyes open, that realize real lies with real eyes. And understand something, you know, the majority of the population is not going to buy into any of this because they're caught up in the news. And remember something, the media has never done anything for anybody. You've got to become your own doctor. You've got to become your own practitioner, your own lover. You've got to become your own researcher, your own health detective. You've got to learn how to create a perfect day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. Anyways, let me bring Richard on because he's been so good. I was supposed to be here an hour and a half ago, but I got derailed. That's what happens, right? And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Richard?
Hello there.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm great. And understand something, everybody. You can see the way I speak because understand, you know, you got to stand in your power. And there's nothing I said wrong. There's nothing illegal about it. You know, they may not want me talking about things like this out there, but understand, you know what? Just like Richard, we have a gentleman on, his name is Brent, and he developed this magnet, and it actually will double the lifespan, and it will double the colony of a beehive. And, you know, everybody said the bees were going to die, and then we're all going to die. So just like that, Richard has created and I do mean this, the most powerful healing C60 in the world. Richard, would you like to tell people where you get your C60 from and why we're able to sell the best C60 at this price? Because you did something that people didn't do when you did it. Okay?
Sure. About 8 years ago, it was just over 8 years ago, I was finding out from a gentleman called Cliff High, and he was on YouTube. And other scientists that I was finding, not just on PubMed, but all over the research papers around the world, and this is regarding fullerene, the Buckminster fullerene, and this is regarding life extension. And it was found that by ingesting a certain amount, which was approximately 0.8 grams per liter mixed into, at the time, it was olive oil that was being used before we advanced into using MCT coconut oil and now hemp oil, that by taking a certain amount, which is the amount that we recommend, being used upon mice and rats. First it was done on rats, and then it followed up later on with mice, that they lived to double their age. Now, your question was, where do we get the C60? At the time, the best quality C60 in powder form in which to mix into the olive oil at the time was coming from Eastern Europe, mainly Russia and the Ukraine. Now, the second question is, why was it coming from that particular region? And the answer is quite simple in that they have quite a bit of carbon-60 naturally found on the ground from meteorites. Two, it was a place where energy is plentiful in that it is not
costly. It's not costly.
Meters, as in, it is not expensive. There's not a meteor on it. They do not charge a fortune. There's not a wheel spinning saying, oh, there's $200 worth, there's another $1,000 worth. They would, for experimental purposes, allow things to be produced if it was for the benefit of humanity, unlike Western civilization, where if we can make you more sick and create chemicals to make you even sicker in order to pretend to heal you, that is good.
Us,
So
us.
it's the-
If I can say this,
Sorry, go
us Americans and Canadians, we live in this bubble. Oh yes, you do. You live in a bubble. You think it's so great. You think Russia's so bad. I don't want to get into we're not talking politics. We're talking that, you know what? Whoever wins the war tells the story, okay? And understand something. Yeah, the best C60 comes from out of Russia. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, so it was found that the leaders of the country, the Politburo, the people that were high up in the country, and countries, meaning the Ukraine, and the third one was Belarus, they were all taking this as in C60 dissolved or fullerenes dissolved in olive oil. And then they moved on to the MCT oil. And it was found that people were not getting sick. People were living longer. So the words life extension became popularized in Eastern Europe. So when I say that they are 10 to 15 years ahead of the Western world, that is true. And I had on the last interview that we had, I had told people that even Melania Trump, much like my wife, unfortunately, she had been using a cream version of C60 to place on her face that was mixed in MCT oil. And it made her skin look young and beautiful. It is an anti-aging cream. So, yes, that was one of the other benefits. So if you don't want to be taking it for years to have it come out in your natural skin, you can apply it to your face. And you know, within a matter of days, literally, you will have a nice, young, much nicer looking face. That is, you know, the wrinkles are filled in. And if I can mention one thing, you started off this program talking about bees and magnets. One of the other studies that I had read of when I was reading about Cliff High was with respect to beehives and actually having at the very entrance of the hive a very tiny amount of pure C60.
Wow.
And that C60 had, you know, just the tiny amounts of powder, and the hives exploded. They had, instead of one hive, they would have 4 or 5 hives be generated to, you know, make honey and so forth. And the bees were just absolutely huge.
Okay, so did they actually put? Did they put C60 powder right in the beehive?
Yeah, at the very entrance, so that as a bee entered, it would get on their feet. You
Wow.
know, their little feet. There is many research studies now. And I know that in the U.S. there was a gentleman that said he could have as many hives as they wanted, and it was a solution to the beehive, the reduction in the amount of beehives that there are, just by adding C60. But they're trying to shut him up. But he won't shut up. But
Beautiful.
obviously, they are shutting him down in that it's mainstream media. But, you know, for those who will listen and research, you can find out this information.
Right.
I'll send it to Nate.
Please.
I'll look it up and find it.
Yes, so, and then I will send it on to Brent, who actually makes the pure magnets. And what we do is when we sell the magnets, he takes the profits and he sells he gives the magnets to these beehive keepers for free.
Well, I'd be more than willing to send some powder for a good cause to, you know, some of these people, and they can.
I'll link you up with Brent. I'll link you directly with Brent. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. You know, they don't need a lot. Like, I can send, you know, 5-10 grams, and, you know, he'll be good for years.
Okay, beautiful. So everybody, are you starting to see how C60 is? Now, remember, C60, okay, is a graphene that, guess what? It takes so much energy and power, and what you're doing is you're putting in an electrical force that is more powerful than any other molecule on the planet. 270 times stronger than vitamin C, strongest antioxidant known. And I put in there today about eyes. How many people know that I used to wear prescription glasses? Then I went from prescription glasses to actually just readers. And now I have perfect eyesight. So I'm 68 now, going on 69, and I've got better eyesight than I had 10, 20, 30, even 40, 50 years ago. I got glasses when I was very young, about 12 years old. So understand that, and then understand this. The reason why my eyes got better is because C60 restores brain damage and actually creates new pathways faster than any other known product. And when you've got eye disorders, you've got brain damage. And understand, blue light damages the brain, and then the brain, actually, the symptoms are showing up in the eyes. People that have cataracts, believe it or not, have blue light poisoning. Now, you might get somebody with cataracts who didn't do a lot of blue light stuff. They don't work on computers. They're not on their phones. They don't watch a lot of TV. That's rare. 10,000 teenagers are being diagnosed with cataracts every day now from being on their phones and being on their iPads, being on their computers. And then the LED lighting in all the homes doesn't help a hell of a lot either, does it? So I said that C60, and I'll tell you, I was sipping on it all the time. And if I can, Richard, I'm only going to take another second. You see these glasses? These are about the same price as designer glasses. They're on sale right now because everything's on sale right now because of Black Friday, and we only have 2 days left of that. Everybody, if you want to take advantage. If you don't, that's great. But inside these lenses is what? The C60 frequency molecule. It will take all blue light and transform it into healing that actually heals your brain and brings your eyesight back. So if you were to take the C60 and hemp oil or the C60 coconut oil, and we usually do C60 MCT oil up until about 3-4 o'clock in the day, and then we switch over to the hemp because of our endocannabinoid system. It just makes you more peaceful, and it repairs your endocannabinoid system, and they both repair the brain, but the hemp oil is mainly for the endocannabinoid system. And understand, as soon as you put on these glasses called Tesla Lightwear, they're on my website, you will feel a calmness come over you. And this is creating the energy from C60. So we're getting it on 2 levels. So understand, if you really want to restore it, then you want to look at that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You can go to our website and go to our library and take a look at the testimonials. And you'll understand why this product is being touted as the strongest antioxidant on the planet and the fastest healing molecule in the body. And you'll understand why the military takes it, upper government takes it, royalty takes it. That was their little secret that they kept for a long time. Is this right, Richard?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Richard actually supplies to upper government and to the military. So you don't mind me saying that, right, Richard?
No, go ahead. And
Okay.
spooky people that you would know their names, and I really don't like supplying it to them, but I have to.
I hear you.
And, yeah.
So anyways,
So,
I think it's really important, everyone, that you do your own homework. And PubMed's a really good place to go for lots of research. You can just type in MCT oil, hemp oil, C60. What else could they do, Richard?
the best word, believe it or not, is fullerene.
Yes.
Because that's something you don't think of when you think of C60, but it's a fullerene.
Buckyball, flower of life. Actually, this design is what is the makeup for the whole universe, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, it is.
This
It comes
design.
from space. It comes from space. Space is full of fullerenes.
That's right.
It was, yeah, it was given a Nobel Peace Prize to 4 different people because of the fact that Buckminster Fullerene, he predicted that they would find it in space, but he couldn't prove it.
Yeah, and that's why everyone, if you look up the buckyball, so there's different names to this, but look up Flower of Life. It's so beautiful. And then also, if I can say this, Richard, you know, Brent, he actually, with the magnets, he made the Flower of Life inside of the magnet. He uses the world's best magnets. And I won't get into the magnet. That's not why we're here. But you see how this continually comes up everywhere in life? So understand something. If you've never heard of the Flower of Life, buckyball, the fullerene, everyone, do a little research, because that's what they kept from us, is C60 canine cataracts too. Oh my God, I need to tell you guys something. Our dogs and cats have the same illness as we do because they eat the same crap, okay? The science diet. I mean, most of the stuff that veterinarians sell, like about 98% of it, is toxic and poisonous. Veterinarians are the same as medical doctors. They know nothing about nutrition. They're drug dealers. They do x-rays on your pets. They do surgery on your pets. You can believe it or not believe it. But if you go into the pet guide in my library, you will see how we talk about giving C60 to pets. If you were to give your pet C60 and mix it with its food, okay, be generous, okay, do at least a teaspoon a day, okay, and I mean a teaspoon a day, and mix it with its food, the C60 hemp or the coconut oil, and guess what? And I would do a teaspoon of each. I really would. You can't hurt your dog. And you'll see what happens. And also, if your dog has cataracts and will allow you, you know, you can also put Bright Eyes in there. But give your dog C60, and that'll heal the dog's brain, and that will help to get rid of the cataracts. And that is the God's truth. Remember something, everyone. You only get cataracts, most of you, in detached retina and burning eyes and dry eyes. Floaters. Do you want me to keep going with all of them, all the conditions? And most of those conditions, and I mean 95% of those conditions, are caused because of inflammation of the brain and blue light poisoning. And you're going to go, well, I don't get a lot of blue light poisoning. Well, why don't you take a look at the LED lighting in your house? I'm not on the TV too much. It's not just about the TV. It's about the phones. It's about the LED lighting. It's about all of the inflammatory chemicals, heavy metals, and all the other things that you don't know you're getting that are lighting up your brain. And guess what? Whether anybody believes this or not, you don't need a lot of blue light poisoning if you are a stress monkey. Okay? Most people today believe that I got to be on my guard. I got to be on my guard. It's the end of the world as we know it. I'm going to say one thing and bounce it back to Richard. How many people know that 50 years ago, there would be 3 trauma moments where people were traumatized a month? How many people know before COVID it was 17 times a day? How many people know during COVID, okay, it became 120 times a day? And how many people know that in that 3-year period, everybody now runs programs and they're still stressing out, okay, because everything's a program. And understand, you think your personality is your personality, well, it's not. You know, if you've got any kind of sickness, that's your personality creating it. If you've got health, that's your personality created. If you've got wealth, that's it. If you've got poverty, your personality created the poverty. And you can tell me bullshit, Daryl. And I'm not trying to swear, but I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to tell you, I do a whole life coach certification course, and you should see the people when they come and take my course 6 months, a year after. Their life has changed. Okay, you change your personality, you change your reality. And to help that, I'm telling you right now, whether you want to believe it or not, it's C60. Because guess what? Who wouldn't want to take a product that's 270 times stronger than vitamin C? Okay, a product that's known as the miracle molecule, and it is the strongest antioxidant on the planet. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, everything that you said is true. And I as well cannot believe that there are people, and I don't know whether it's because they took the vax or not. Some people are taking more, and other people are just, they're just taking less. And I don't know whether it's because they died or whether they've given up on their health.
Well,
And,
if I can say this, Richard, I've got people that have done that thing 3 and 4 times. And I have them doing this all day, just sipping it, microdosing it, and then putting it under their tongue. And then when it becomes water, they swallow. And Richard, it only takes us a few days. But I also have them pulling the cork out of their butt and changing the filter in their liver. And we teach them the perfect day diet. But if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't be lighting them up. Okay?
Yeah, that's true. We're selling more than ever. It's just that there is a group of people that, for whatever reason, ever since the Satan juice came out, they seem to have, I don't know, whether it's like I said, whether they've given up or whether their brains have been altered in some way that I don't know.
You know what?
You've got a better understanding of it than I do.
We don't want to hurt people's feelings, but the reality is, all we need to do is, guys, just go back a little bit, and then we'll leave this topic alone. Look up what a virus is. It's known as toxin or poison in Greek. Toxins and poisons can't jump 1 inch, less 6 feet. We already know you can't trap them. We already know that you cannot infect people with that. Coughing, sneezing. But I want to go into it because there's people here that believe it and they're totally paranoid. So we got to get back to the C60 conversation because people are going to just start throwing rotten eggs at me here in a second. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can tell you one thing that, and you were speaking a few months ago about France and how that they're trying to get it, with respect to C60, off the market. And it is true. They're starting to go hot and heavy against anything. And with respect to C60 as it being imported into the country. And I know that we send my company bottles into the country from those who purchase it, and they're being stopped. They're being stopped at the border.
And the C60 is being stopped for a reason because I already told you, and we're not okay. But first, a second. This is not news. If you want to go to PubMed, go to PubMed. This is not news, and people are researching it all the time. And this whole C60 thing is right now. There's tons of research going on by many different scientists and doctors right now. And the reality is it's not news. It's only news to people who watch the news. You're so busy in the news that you know, the problem is people are not minding their life. They're not minding their body. They're not minding what they think, drink, or eat. And, I mean, all you got to do is take a look at it. And you know as well as I do, Richard, that if you really want a healthy meal, if you want an unhealthy meal, you can get it on any corner. If you want a healthy meal, you got to get in your car. And there's usually only 3 or 4 places in the city that actually carry something really clean. You know, the reality is this. I get it. It's a setup, everybody. This is a slave planet, and I refuse to be a slave. And guess what? I deserve everything. And let me ask you, everybody, and you know, maybe this isn't about that, but, you know, it's been Thanksgiving right now. What's the price tag that you're worth to yourself? I know that price tag wise, your family's worth everything to you, but what are you worth? You know, the thing that I've noticed with doing whole life coaching certifications since I was 28 years old teaching it is that most people have a price tag of $1.95. That would be $1. And the reality is that people never have enough time for themselves, never have enough money, and oh, that's too expensive. Isn't it great how they can program us? And it's not talking about our products for you to buy them. But isn't it great how they can program us into poverty thinking about ourselves and that money's hard to make? And that's because most people go for a job and they don't go for their passion. They don't look for their gift. Okay, and once you find your gift and you gift the world, then you will be abundant forever. And I teach that. Okay, so the reality is we're going through a lot of changes. It's not the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new one. And we need to look at that. Okay, so everybody, we need to change our attitudes. Richard?
Yeah, I agree. Most people will go out and spend, I don't know what a Big Mac meal is nowadays, but it's probably $20 and think nothing of it. But when it comes to a C60, whether you want to call it a supplement or not, or a lifesaver, something like that has potential benefits that are going to last you the rest of your life. You know, the difference between the two, it's enormous, and yet they'll choose a Big Mac.
Okay, let me give you...
Big Mac meal, it's full of junk.
Oh, well, I can't even... You're not going to digest it. You're not going to digest it because it's not food. But if I can say something, I've got a couple comparisons here, and then tell me I'm wrong. So I can go and buy a 2-liter bottle of pop here, okay? All right? And then go buy a 16-ounce bottle of water pretty well anywhere. But there's 2-liter Cokes and Pepsi. I mean, there's 2-liter Cokes, 2 liters in Mexico. And you should see, when people have it in their hand, it's like they're so proud. And do you know why, guys? Because the reality is that sugar causes you actually to dump serotonin, which gives you more pleasure, but it's killing you. It's killing you. It's out and out devil's poison. Now, I want to say something. So that bottle of water, that's only 16 ounces, costs more than that whole bottle of Coke, which is 2 liters. And the reality is, this is such mind-blowing. And this is everywhere. Maybe not exactly like here, but water is always high-priced. You know why? Because there's not enough water in the world. What a bunch of BS. Look at the same amount of water was here since the beginning of time, and it's still here. And water's continually recycled. There is more water than you can shake a stick at. If you want to go live in the desert, there's no water. The reality is that most of the population, and I mean the majority of the population, are moronic. They will go and buy bottled water when they could buy one of our structure units and then run that through a tap and no filter, and it'll give them the best water in the world. But they'll go and buy plastic bottled water, that crinkled stuff, crick, and they'll do that at Costco. And that has usually, did you know this, Richard? They don't have to say it. There's 120 chemicals in bottled water. And the bottled water is just tap water that ran through a filter. And they didn't even pay for it. It just came from the city. And the plastic bottle is, smart water. People are dumb if they drink smart water. It's just distilled water. And then they throw alkaline mineral in it. But the water's no good because you can't absorb it. So all I'm trying to say here is you can market anybody to drink or eat anything. And then guess what? People will go and buy bottled water. Okay, and it's more, and guess what? The water is more expensive than the pop that costs them more to make. And so what you don't understand is the psychos that did the same thing for the last 3 years own all these corporations. That's why they can create everything and make it look so loony-toony. And everybody believes it. And remember something, and we're the ants allowing negative thoughts. That's what that stands for. And we'll go and we work for them because we have to make money. I got to pay my bills. I got to keep my mouth shut. Okay? And you know what? It's very easy to buy a human. Okay? To do things. And that is the problem with this world right now. You can buy a human to absolutely poison or murder other humans. And you know what? Maybe that's not what this I know this is what this is not about today, and then we go on and talk about this, and then I just had somebody come on here, and you know what they just said? You're a fraud, and all you do is sell snake oil. So God love that person. You know? So the reality is this, is that, people are so programmable. I already said that. When I say that we use graphene, we got graphene in here, which is carbon. People go, oh my God, is he trying to poison people? I don't know. You're made out of carbon. They're trying to get rid of you, aren't they? Okay. So, the psychos take their graphene and they program it to actually dismantle a human being's spirit. Okay. And then guess what? We take the graphene to raise your spirit. And you can say, well, what a crock. Why don't you do your homework? Go to PubMed and then tell me I'm lying. And then guess what? And then we've got people out there that are trying to take shortcuts, and they'll use sunflower oil, or they'll go and they'll get. I hope you know this, everybody. Just so you do know, okay. 1 sec. Just so everybody knows, okay. 98% of all the graphene that people sell C60 to in North America comes from China. Not ours. Not ours. You know, and that's the truth. And we don't use sunflower oil or safflower oil. We're going to use the two best oils for healing in the world. This is who we are. And we are never going to shortchange that. And do you know why we're able to sell our product at the same price as they sell theirs? Is because Richard is not, he's smart. Years ago, he bought a dump truck full of what? Full of this product, C60. And guess what? It was 35 an ounce. It's 350 to 450, isn't it?
A gram.
A gram, 1 gram, 1 gram. So understand, guys, this is why you are getting such a wonderful product, okay? I'm telling you, this is the truth. You know, the thing is that, you know, in life you're going to get haters. In life you're going to get people that are jealous. I'm not competing with anyone. I'm competing with myself to be the best human being I can be and to carry the best, finest products and have the most beautiful people behind them. And that's the truth. You know, people seek me out and they say, look, I know that my product's got to be one of the best on the planet. Will you carry it, Dr. Wolf? Because I'm not going to bring a product on and do that. Nobody can come in. Nobody's ever going to be able to come in and say, look at that. You know, you can't do it. And anybody with a mouth like mine, you better not, okay? And I'll tell you that right now because I am always going to speak up for me and I'm going to speak up for all my brothers and sisters around the world. Because I'm going to tell you something. Think how ridiculous this is. We have been murdering ourselves for religion, murdering each other for religion because of our different ethnics, because of our different languages, because of the most craziest thing. You know, you'll believe, not you, but the majority will believe anything the government says. And there's nothing true about it. So the reality is this, is anything that's really good, okay, will get bought up by these psychos. That's why I tell you, when you go to a health food store and you go, oh my God, I just love this product, it's so clean, you've got to go and download the YUKA app because what happens is any product that gets to be a big seller, even if it's, and when it's clean, they go and buy them out because these psychos, they don't have a money problem. Because money's an illusion. We have a money problem because we're enslaved to it. So they will buy out the company and then poison it. And I already know this. Richard will close his company down before he ever changes it. He's the only one that makes C60 where he takes a 250 liter pure glass crystal. It looks like a bell upside down. He buys these speakers that are $10,000 for each of these upside down crystal glass bells. And then he runs in the love vibration into the product. And nobody has developed the way he stirs it and creates the tornado. Okay, you need to get this. Okay, he's a fanatic. Okay, he's over the top. I'm over the top. Look for people that are over the top. Okay, look for people that you can strive up to. Okay, Richard, what do you think?
Yes, thank you so much for saying that. But yeah, I've spent millions and millions of dollars to get the lab running up to a level that others think that I really have gone overboard, but it has made the product as good as it is. And so many people have found relief and dare I say, I shouldn't say the cure word, so I won't.
Can we talk? Do you mind talking about? Do you mind talking about your dear wife, though? I mean, this just went down, everybody.
Yeah.
This problem went down just a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. She got out of the hospital in September. She was in the hospital for 2 months. Now, unfortunately, like Melania Trump, who cared from what I understand solely about her look, even though I've been doing this for over 8 years, my wife didn't really understand that you really have to take this internally. And because it was experimental and I was the one who was taking it, and of course a lot of, people that really understood it.
Richard, before you go for, can I just say something? The product,
Yeah.
everyone, is called C60 hemp oil and C60 MCT oil. It's 270 times stronger in vitamin C. It's called the miracle molecule. It is the strongest antioxidant on the planet. It will restore eyesight. It will restore the brain. Okay. It will dismantle the side effects of the bee. I'm telling you, we have countless people coming every day to purchase what we call our 4-pillar V detoxification program. You can call me if you want to know what it is. But it will be completed and all up in the Doc of Detox library if you want to know what that is. And you don't need a code, anybody, to buy the product. We have Black Friday sale on until Sunday night, okay? Thank you. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, so in other words, my wife was not all excited about drinking at the time what was olive oil, which to her was not the greatest thing to take. Bottom line, let's see, July, August, she got very, very sick.
Very sick.
Yes, within 4 or 5 hours of being in the hospital, they diagnosed her with terminal cancer of the colon.
Terminal cancer.
That was that. The only options were, just, to try and give her as many weeks, days as they could, which was chemo and or the radiation. We opted for neither. And I started bringing in what she wanted, which was a combination of both the MCT and the hemp oil. She liked the combination, one of each, so 2 ounces per day, and that's what she drank. And she had a major surgery where they removed a large portion of her colon, and by September, even though they had said that it had spread to her bones, it had shown to be not just regressed, but totally eliminated. And they couldn't believe it. And now she's home.
Beautiful. And yes, everyone, I'll make a phone call to my office. I didn't know that. I'm not up on all this stuff. So it's Cyber Monday. So we'll keep the sale running until midnight Monday night. Okay, there you go. Go ahead, Richard.
And ever since she's been home, there was a huge, if you can imagine, cut from the surgery. It is, we actually put the MCT on the 10-inch incision, and it is, it looks like it's turning even white. It's healing. It's as if she, had a surgery years ago, but not like it was, 6 weeks ago. It's absolutely incredible. She doesn't have pain. She had lost 30-odd pounds, and she's gained most of it back. And the two of us only eat healthy food. We buy most of our vegetables on a daily basis. We like to get out and go shopping at the grocery stores, good healthy stores. We eat nothing but good meat, fresh meat. And that's that. It's just as if something that was absolutely horrific, where we thought she was going to die. But then, she decided to take the C60 in large doses. To us, it was the only thing that we knew and the thing that her body actually craved. You know, can you imagine that? She's only been taking it now and then, but her body actually craved it. And it's not something you can make up. You know, this is something that is real life. And I always knew that because I have so many customers and customers, that this is the real deal. You know, you had someone say, "Oh, it's snake oil." Well, we're talking life and death here. This is my wife. This is someone that I've known most of my adult life. And, you know, when someone says something like, "Oh, it's snake oil," or whatever, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't really matter what anyone says. This is something that I see day in, day out, helping people, that I get wonderful letters and phone calls from. So to me, this is, you know, because it's my wife, it is oh so special because I love her. And she's just, you know, this is a second chance in life for her. And she's 76, and, you know, had she died, she was ready to accept it, you know, because we're both older. And, you know, that's what happens. My son would take over the business, and that would be that. But changing the recipe and how it's being done, it probably wouldn't be advancing at the rate that it is now, but the bottom line is taking it as her body wanted is how she received it. What she wanted, I gave her.
Okay, if you can hold, yes. She took a minimum of 1 ounce of the C60 hemp oil and 1 ounce of the MCT C60 hemp oil. And you're better off to do the MCT C60 and then in the afternoon switch to the hemp for the endocannabinoids to calm it all down and make you feel so peaceful. Okay, everybody?
Yeah. Now, she's not taking that dosage now. She's down to a tablespoon in the morning and not the afternoon and one in the evening. Everyone is different.
So that still would be 6 teaspoons, and that's the minimum that we do when we have someone that's on an autoimmune situation, okay? So autoimmune diseases go all the way from diabetes, arthritis to stage 4, you know what? Inflammation, we call it, they call it cancer. So we'll have people even take more if it fits their budget, okay? If it fits their budget, okay? Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the bottom line. She's cured, and life is good, and it's on to more people that need the product to be helped, and everyone needs to be helped, and everyone should be on it forever.
Absolutely. And people need to do their homework. Go to PubMed, and then you can come to our website, and then I know you want to go and do some studies from other scientists and other people, because don't believe anybody. Don't believe anybody that thinks they're an authority, okay? All right, or talks like they're an authority. You need to go and check things out for yourself. And I'm talking whether it's me, medical doctor, or anybody and anything in life. You know, people have good intentions, but sometimes it doesn't turn out that way, all right? So, Richard, what would you like to leave people with, my friend? And just know, Richard will be on every 2 weeks. And right now we're setting up in a studio here so that we can go on and show videos and do more lives, and we'll be able to answer questions better. So that will be set up here, and we'll be able to do that for every show that we do. We'll bring on people so they can we can answer their questions more effectively. Richard, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, my finishing comment is, if you've never tried it, I would try perhaps 2 small bottles, one of each, and take one in the morning of the MCT or in the early afternoon, and another dropper full of the hemp for the evening. And you'll find that while you're sleeping, your body will start to heal itself, And the more you take, the more that you can afford, the more healing that will take place. And whatever your issues are, they will slowly start to go away over time. And it's not because I say so, it's because that's what C60 does. That's what its job is. Studies have shown that that's what C60 performs themselves.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay. You have a great day.
Well, thank you, my friend. And he'll be back on in 2 weeks. And if you want to know when he's coming back on, you can always check out Doc of Detox, DocStar TV guide on docofdetox.com. And we have all our list of all our shows there. Okay? Thank you, Richard.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye now. And just know this, that I will be bringing out the Braveheart Nation app. And eventually we'll have like about 120 different shows on there. And because it's my own platform, nobody can tell me to shut up anymore or shut me down or try to spank me or punish me for trying to get the truth out. And that's what we're going to do. But I'll be bringing on people that are like, they really are specialists in their field. And it'll be all about you, teaching you how to take massive personal action, becoming your own doctor. Yes, I can say that. Own practitioner, okay? Where you learn how to love and care for yourself first and foremost, okay, before anyone else, because you can't do it for anyone else until you can do it for yourself. So that's really important, guys. You need to get this. Nobody's coming to save you, okay? And going for my checkup next month, really? What do checkups do? Oh my God, I made it through another month. No, stop getting treated. You're going to get mistreated. Get trained. Please go check out braveheartnation.com or BHN University if you want to get certified. You can take like a whole life coach course and start consulting people on how to do a perfect day emotionally, nutritionally, and physically. And understand, we'll teach you that, all right? And we'll support you for life. And it's called Whole Life Coach Certification. Or you can come and take a Braveheart Circle, and it's only 4 days, and learn how to love yourself. Wouldn't that be something? And people are going to go, I love myself. Really? I don't think so. No. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 people actually love themselves. The other 999 are looking for people to fill up their heart. Their heart is broken. They're lonely. Okay, my heart's in pieces. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me. Well, love is a self-serve job. You need to fill up your own tank, and then you'll be tankful. And I mean tankful. And that's where you need to go. So I'll be doing my first New World Practitioner trainings in Mexico at the Cala del Mar. On January the 12th, we do Whole Life Coach. It's 9 days. And then we take a day off, and then we'll be doing the Wolf Non-Surgical, the most powerful body work in the world. I mean, how many chiropractors will give you a money-back guarantee? Or acupuncturists or massage therapists? Well, we do, and we will. And surgery is your last option. Let me tell you something. And if you don't understand that body pains are caused because emotional blocks that create physical blocks, and those physical blocks are displaced calcium crystallization and scar tissue. Anybody that wants to come to me, I'll give you a money-back guarantee. Okay, if you have got a cane, you can get rid of it. If you got a walker, you can go from the walker to the cane and get rid of that. If you're in a wheelchair and you're not totally crippled, what are you doing in there? Because you're emotionally crippled, and you're not emotionally crippled because you're weak. I'll tell you what's weak. The belief systems that you have about yourself and about healing and about life are weak. Okay, I was created by God Almighty, and I'm going to act like it, and I'm going to teach it. And yes, somebody says here, Fiona, fly. First, love yourself. How many people that are in a wheelchair love themselves, love their life? How many people that are limping? I mean, my God, go take a look at the people that are waddling like a duck. Go look at the people that look like they ate a beach ball. They're ready to blow because they have their own manure pile rotting them out. Whether you want to believe this or not, we work on pets, we work on humans, and understand something. Dogs and cats, they're all getting frozen in their back hips, okay? And tell me they're not, okay? I was on the phone today, and she goes, oh, I took my cat to the vet, and they said that his hips are frozen because he can't get up a hairball. And I go, what a bunch of BS. I said, not every, but 95 to 98% of all symptoms and diseases in humans, cats and dogs, are what we eat, and it's garbage. and we get our own garbage dump here. It becomes a manure pile, and every manure pile's got worms, fungus, bad bacteria, and you rot out. That's right. Why do you think everybody has inguinal hernias? Inguinal hernia is where you've rotted out the peritoneum that holds your intestines in, and it gets a hole, and now your intestines are popping through, and that can heal and go back in. How many people know that stenosis in the spine, you can reverse it, and we can reverse it usually in the first treatment? How many people know that a slip disc, there's no such thing? What did it do? Go in your sock or in your underwear. All it is a herniated disc, slip disc, is an inflamed disc. Otherwise, the cartilage is inflamed because you were pooping in your pelvis. How many people know that most of the surgery that's done is either done up here in the cervical because you're a stress monkey, or you're a sugar and a food junkie, and you're rotting out here. So it's rotting out L3, L4, L5, and that's why you got to have surgery. And I'll tell you right now, 98%, 95 to 98% of all surgery doesn't have to happen. And we give a money back guarantee that you will not go to surgery if you know who you are. Your body will grow back organs. It will grow back tissue. It will take the calcium and bring it back into the bones, and your bones will be great. And whatever happened to us 120 years ago, the AMA was developed. They almost went bankrupt, the Rockefellers, and gave them $100 million and said, you go out and you destroy 110 colleges and universities in the United States and Canada, and you'll become the strongest organization long as you only sell Rockefeller and Carnegie drugs, and that's it. Welcome to your world where you actually take drugs, not you and you and you, but 50% of all the drugs taken are taken by my American brothers and sisters in the world. 50% of all the drugs taken are taken by Americans. Wow, dude, are we kidding here? Okay, so understand something right now. You know, your potential is beyond. You have such potential. You're created by God Almighty. It was your spirit that was infused into your mother's womb. And guess what? If you were to actually know how to create the perfect day from the moment you rise till you close your eyes, and you said, I'm going to become my own practitioner. If you ever decide to come and take my course, Whole Life Coach course, it's over. There'll be nobody giving you any more bullshit. You won't be going to a doctor. You'll be smarter than any doctor you go to, any medical doctor. And most natural health practitioners don't understand that aging and disease is all calcification, crystallization, scar tissue formation that leads to mutation, and the mutation was caused from inflammation. And I'm ready to be challenged by any medical doctor, natural health doctor, anywhere in the world, because 1 and 1 are 2, they're not 11. Okay? And understand, you can go, why is he so intense? Well, because guess what? How many of your brothers and sisters are out there suffering right now because they've been programmed to eat crap, feel like crap, okay, and then to rot out? And that's what people are doing. They're rotting out, okay? Whether you believe it or not, I believe in the next 7 to 10 years, 30% of the population will leave before it's time, okay? Leave. 30% of the population is going to leave because they're going to pass on from rotting out, okay? The spirit will no longer live in that rusting out body, but they're actually rotting out, okay? Anybody with halitosis, chronic bad breath, has worms like galore, fungus galore, bad bacteria galore. So these people that sell like parasite products, okay, I do a parasite cleanse 4 times a year. Well, I never do one because my protocol of the perfect day wouldn't allow parasites in me. It doesn't allow bad bacteria to breed. I mean, think about it. The majority of the population, what do? Seriously? They wait until something's wrong. Even if they don't go to a medical doctor, they go to a natural health person, and then they do a deep cleanse, and then they feel like crap going through the deep cleanse. And then after they go through the deep cleanse, then they go back to their old lifestyle. They might have made a few little changes, but then guess what? They keep on doing the same thing. You know, anybody that does weight loss programs is toxic and sick. Anybody who does, there's nowhere to go here. You know, You find a perfect day and you repeat that day every day and you own it, baby. You know, you get all the energy you want. You don't have diseases. You're never going to hear of me ever having a disease. And some of you are on here going, yeah, you'll see it. You'll get yours. No, I won't actually. I won't get mine. I look younger now than I did 5 years ago. And the reality is this. Most of my colleagues have not been challenged by government or the medical system or even by people in the health field like I have in the last 2 years. You know what? If I was going to shut down and shut up, I would have done it already. I mean, that I would have been gone. I would have been gone. And the reality is nobody likes if you come on and you're too different than their belief systems. Seriously, it's true. Think about it. Most people, if you meet someone and their belief systems are really quite different, then guess what? Oh, they're different. They're weird. Ooh, I'll stay away from them. You know, that's a big problem, isn't it? If we just learn to observe people and come from our heart, you know, this world's going to change. You know, are there things that I see not like to happen? Yeah, but if I can't, I'm going to mind my own business. If I can't, wherever I can make massive personal changes, I'm going to. You know, I'm walking down the street. I might see like maybe 20, 30 people that if I said, do you want to stop for a second? And I did some wolf non-surgical, I could blow their brains and they wouldn't be limping. They wouldn't be limping 3 to 5 minutes later. Yeah. So you can adjust someone with chiropractic. Chiropractic is great, but I can go in there and pull the scar tissue apart and it's not going to come back. Not going to come back for a long time. And if I can get the person to buy into my BS belief system and get them to do a non-inflammatory diet and understand that the world just wants to scare you, your mother wants to scare you, your father wants to scare you, your brother wants to scare you, the media wants to scare you, the government wants to scare you because everybody wants to control people because hardly anybody loves themselves. So they got to get their love and they got to feel like they're in power somewhere. I don't want to control anyone. Okay, I like to control my bowel movements, and I'm definitely going to control my emotions. Okay, I'm not going to let, no matter how big it is. Do you look at your life? If something happens and it's this big, you'll just stress out that big. If something happens this big, you'll stress out that big. Well, what about not stressing out at all? Oh, what about this? What about the next time that somebody in your family is really suffering, you don't take on their suffering. If they ask you your opinion, you try to be very logical and tell them that you'll be there to support them when they want to change. You know, feeling sorry for people, you know, people will say to me, you know, I'm an empathic, and I go, oh, I'm scared. You know, I feel everything. Well, trust me, I come from my heart. I feel everything, but I'm not going to be destroyed by anything. And that's what we do. So people will say, well, my grandfather had this disease and now I've got it. Well, you know what? All diseases are epigenetic. They're not genetic. So let's cut the crap, okay? And somebody says, you know, I've got this one demented gene and I've got this disease and only 1 out of 400 million people ever have it. And I'm going, really? Isn't that just a beautiful story? BS. It's a BS story. And I don't say it to them like that, but I go, how would you like to prove that theory's wrong? Because you right now are saying that you are born with something that you can't change it. And remember this, everybody, you know, the whole medical system is still rattling on about genetics. There's no genetic diseases. It's here, it's epigenetic. When you decide you want to change your personality, oh, you'll change your reality from poverty to abundance on any level, whether it's physical, emotional, nutritional. And that's the deal. How colorful is your life? I don't know. How big is your imagination? Do you go to work? Huh? Or do you go to your passion and purpose? Do you love your life? Do you wear a slight smile no matter what's going on? Or do you go, piss off? I'm not going to smile. Go screw you. I got nothing to smile for. Screw you. Is that what you do? A lot of people do it. If you don't give me something to smile about, I'm not going to smile. That person's going to be not at ease. They're going to have a disease. And then they're going to blame it on something else. But it was your personality that creates your reality. So at the end of the day, oh yeah, I've got the best products, baby, and I'm going to have them, and I'm always going to have them, or I'm getting out of the business. I'm either going to be the best at what I do, or I don't want to do it. And I'm not in competition with anybody. So when I'm on here and I say, look at that, most of the natural health profession is superficial and diluted, I mean it. I'm not trying to put it down. I am challenging the natural health profession. I'm trying to tell you that if we were so good and we've got 100 times more natural health people than we have medical people in the field, then why are people getting sick? Because they're not willing to hold the line. I'm willing to hold the line. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I would never be able to do it unless I totally unconditionally love myself. Because guess what? I get my ass whooped. And I get my ass whooped good. Because I'll go on here and I'll tell people, you know, if you don't want to love yourself, care for yourself, then guess what? Somebody's going to take you and they're going to sell you off by the pound. And the reality is here, if I didn't love myself and I needed everyone to love me, I would bullshit you. And I'm not trying to swear right now. That's the only word I can use. I would BS you. I don't want to BS you into buying my products. I don't want to BS you in coming to get treatments. I don't want to BS you to go into my stuff. I don't want to. And guess what? I don't need you to. All right? You know, I do lives and I don't charge anything for them. And I do that because I want to give back. But just know this. I charge $500 for a consultation and I'm worth it. Because that person has me for the rest of their life. And I'm not going anywhere. Or you can go and pay other naturopathic doctors that are not taught natural health anymore. You think I'm kidding? No, they crossed over. All right? Naturopathic schools have crossed over. I'm not trying to down them, but guess what? You can't sell. I will never sell myself out. I will hold the line. You know, even when I'm attacked, I'm not going to sell myself out. I'm going to stand up for myself because if I don't, then I'm not standing up for you. And understand something. You may not like me, but guess what? That's not my job. My job is for you to fall in love with yourself and care for yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. And anybody who tells you that they're in authority over you and that they know more than you, I call BS. Because I'm going to tell you something. Health has been made to look complicated. It's a bloody religion. It's been made to look complicated and it's simple. And understand something. If you come and get a consultation from us, $150 lifetime support, are you kidding? 1-800 number, use it as much as you want. I'll sell. You get my PDF, a 400-page manual. It has more take action stuff in it than you've ever seen in your life. I'm going to tell you, this is who I am. I will always be attacked, and it's okay. Remember something, just because you want to grow and you want a better life, you better be immune to people not wanting to hurt you, but feel threatened by you. Just think about the things. I want you just to stop for a second. I want you to think about the things that you've wanted to do in your life and your husband or your wife or your mother or your father have tried to talk you out of it because they wouldn't do it. Because they wanted to protect you. Because the subconscious, for most people, is very fearful. And anything new, the subconscious just goes like that and it tries to just say, no. Listen, I know you're suffering, but you know, at least we're not dead. We'll just stay right here. So the reality is this. You want to grow? Well, you better let go. And you better mind your own business. And you better know something here. If you need to be approved of by the things that you hold dear to you, you're in trouble. And if you take things personal when your family is actually stopping you from doing your passion and purpose, don't take it personal. Just say, I love you, but I'm doing this. I'm scared for you. I think you're wasting your time. I think you're wasting your money. I'm not talking about coming to me. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about being a painter, a dancer. I'm talking about wanting to travel the world with a knapsack. I'm talking about anything that gives you joy, because everybody that has come onto this planet has a destiny. Everybody has a destiny. And guess what? This is the truth. 9,999 people never fulfill their destiny. It's only 1 out of 10,000. I'm not making that up. Why don't you check around? Why don't you just do a little studying? So how do you like your job? It's okay. You know, I'm making a living. You know what it is. You got to work, man. You know, it's just a job, you know. I got to do what I got to do. This is the talk. This is the thoughts that are going to keep you a prisoner. I can walk away from this today. You know, I've been back in business for 12 years. I left for 9. I was never going to come back into the health business. And do you know why? Because I was trapped back then. I hope you know that my website back then was called The Wolf Clinic, was in the top 100,000 of all the websites in the world. And you're going to go, I never heard of it. Oh, well, the people that had cancer heard of it. The people that had autoimmune diseases heard of it. I was very huge. I was very huge on cancertutor.com, one of the hugest for cancer protocols. But I can't make, I had to quit because cancer was just taking over my life. You know, I was getting like 8 and 10 stage 4 cancer patients a day. And I just went, I gotta go. I don't know what I did here. My ego got me or something, or, you know, people think I'm their savior, and I quit. I moved and went down to the rainforest in God, where'd I go? Panama. And that's where I stayed for a year and a half. And I got to tell you something, it was the best thing I ever did. Yeah, it was the best thing I ever did. And then I came back, and even when I came back and I wrote Healthy to 100 book, I didn't want to do it, but I kept waking up at night, and my source, my creator, said, you got to write this thing. And I told Lori, let's write this thing, and then I'm not getting back into health. I'll just write it. I don't know why, I got to get this off my chest. And here I am, back in it again. You can't run away from your passion, your purpose, but you got to be true to yourself. You know what? If you can be true to yourself, your life is worth living. And when you can't be true to yourself, it's not that I was a bad guy back then, but I wasn't being true to myself. You know, I've never got myself into so much trouble as the last 2 years and trying to be true to myself. But understand something. The attacks will stop, okay? You know, when I first, a long time ago, when I realized that I had to learn how to love and respect and care for myself, my family didn't know what that looked like. And I have to tell you something. They called me Jesus. They called me Buddha. You know, even my young kids would make fun of me because their mother would make fun of me. And I knew I couldn't go back to the old me. And now that I do actually unconditionally love myself, and I don't spend more than 30 seconds judging myself, you know, the reality is I'm never going to judge you. And I'm not going to judge anybody who attacks me. And understand something. So far as I'm concerned, I'm more than living up to my source creator, what I need to be now. And that's it. You know, yes, they're here. We got to go. Okay. Well, I'm talking with my friends, Lori.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'll be there in a minute, honey. Okay.
I'll let them know.
Let them know. Yeah, I'm running late. I've been running late all day. You know? Anyways, do me a favor today, okay? Put a smile on your face and know that that which created the whole universe has never done anything but love you. And I know you're scared to believe that because they've done such a good job that you're dysfunctional. You know, you were born a sinner. Really? Okay? Come on. Seriously? Who made that one up? That's not going to fly. Not with me. Not with Braveheart Nation. It's not going to fly. Okay? But I'll tell you something. There is a God, and that God said, guess what? I'm going to mind my own business. You human beings, you need to get your act together, and you need to have unconditional love and care for yourself, and maybe then you won't let these psychos sell your family off by the pound, okay, and feed off of you anymore. You think about that. I'm not selling a religion. I'm selling unconditional love, which I believe that that's all the creator that of the universe has ever had for me. And ever since I was able to get rid of that other stuff that was really in me, okay, all right, I get a lot more done and I have a lot more fun, okay? Anyways, people are asking, yes, I will extend the sale till Monday night. And, but guess what? Set your sails on having the best weekend of your life. Okay? And I wish you knew the Creator as I know the Creator, because wow, you would have the best day of your life today. God bless.